This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Ukraine urged allies to speed up the pace of military aid as NATO defense ministers prepared to meet for a second day on Wednesday, while Russia said its troops had broken through two fortified lines of Ukrainian defenses on the eastern front. The Russian Defense Ministry said the Ukrainians had retreated in the face of Russian attacks in the Luhansk region, although it provided no details, and newsmen were not able to independently verify the battlefield report. The Kremlin has intensified attacks across a swathe of southern and eastern Ukraine in recent weeks, and a major new offensive has been widely anticipated. Russia's main effort has been focused on the town of Bakhmut in Donetsk province, adjacent to Luhansk. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces did not mention any significant setbacks in Luhansk in its morning update on Wednesday. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has summoned China's ambassador to convey his serious concern following reports that a Chinese Coast Guard vessel had engaged in dangerous maneuvers and used a military-grade laser to impede a Philippine ship in the South China Sea. The president's office said that China's ambassador to the Philippines, Wang Zilian, was called to a meeting on Tuesday afternoon, during which Marcos Jr. criticized the behavior of China's Coast Guards on February 6th near Second Thomas Shore, which is known as Anyongin Shore in the Philippines. Marcos Jr. addressed the increasing frequency and intensity of actions by China against the Philippine Coast Guard and Filipino fishermen in their bunkers, the latest of which was the deployment of military-grade laser against the country's Coast Guard vessels, the president's office said. China had engaged in acts of aggression in the South China Sea, the Philippine Foreign Ministry said on Tuesday, which were disturbing and disappointing. Ministry spokesperson Teresita Daza said the harassment by China of a Philippine Coast Guard PCG ship while on a resupply mission to troops based at Anyongin Shore threatened the sovereignty and security of the Philippines, the ministry said. The World Health Organization (WHO) has intensified surveillance after Equatorial Guinea confirmed an outbreak of the Marburg virus, a highly infectious and deadly disease similar to Ebola, which killed 9 people in the African country. The UN agency convened an emergency meeting on Tuesday with a representative of the Marburg virus vaccine consortium, MARVAC, to discuss the vaccine and therapeutic solutions to the virus and outline research priorities. The WHO also deployed health emergency experts in epidemiology, case management, infection prevention, laboratory and risk communication to boost the country's response. Last week, Equatorial Guinea quarantined more than 200 people and restricted movement in Kaitain province after detecting an unknown hemorrhagic fever. The country officially declared its first outbreak of Marburg virus disease on Monday. In addition to the death, Equatorial Guinea has reported 16 suspected cases of the virus. British consumer price inflation fell by more than expected to 10.1% in January from December's 10.5%, and there were also drops in underlying measures of price growth that are being closely watched by the Bank of England, official data showed. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast that the annual CPI rate would drop to 10.3% in January, moving further away from October's 41-year high of 11.1%, but still eating into the living standards of households. Core CPI, which excludes energy, food, alcohol, and tobacco, fell to 5.8% in January from December's 6.3%, the Office for National Statistics said on Wednesday. Sterling fell against the US dollar and the euro after the data. Earlier this month, the Bank of England said it saw signs that the surge in consumer prices had turned a corner, and it suggested it was close to ending its run of interest rate hikes. Investors expect another increase in borrowing costs next month by the BOE, but Wednesday's data may add to the sense that a peak in bank rate is not far off. That is the size of Top Accolade Global News Update. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy midweek.